Our story starts with a struggle for equality in family, education, and business life. Our first victory was in 1856 with the introduction of law that banned the trafficking of male and female slaves, while the women's movement in the West had started off with abolitionism. In 1871, our family law was put into practice. The French law also equated the rights of legitimate and illegitimate children at the same time. In 1906, while British women were marching for their voting rights, Turkish women were marching for constitutional monarchy. The First World War brought about a serious revolution in gender scales. At that time, 2 million of our women started to work in posts vacated by men. As the world was reshaping after the First World War, we established our republic. In 1934, we gained the right to stand for election and to vote. 1935 elections brought 18 women members into the parliament. In 1971, the first female minister in Ankara. In 1991, the first female governor in Muğla. And in 1993, the first female prime minister took office in Turkey. In 1985, Turkey signed the Convention of Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, which is known as CEDAW. In 2001, the law for equal marital rights for spouses was put into effect. In 2003, with the Girls' Education Campaign, the number of girls that enrolled to primary schools rose up by 20%. Most importantly, though, the state was made responsible for the day-to-day implementation of gender equality by force of the Constitution. These are what we have accomplished so far. We are now trying to repair the damages caused by discrimination against women in our country. But at the same time, we are also responsible for the facts in the world. For the fact that in EU countries, 1 out of every 5 women is being subjected to domestic violence. For the fact that every 90 seconds, a woman is being raped in the USA. Our struggle takes its power from joint forces. That is why we want to remove all the prejudices amongst us. Poverty afflicts women more profoundly. The real victim of interior immigration and regional differences are always women. Tradition fosters violence against women. All these make our responsibilities very, very urgent. The future has to be better than the past. We are here for an equal and fair future. We have lots to do. In fact, we are only at the start.
Our story. When speaking about Turkish women who refuse to use to the rights that have been given them, those who are interested in women's rights and freedoms use a somewhat condescending tone. To say that in Turkey women's rights have been attained without struggle would be a great injustice done to women's struggle, which flows like an undercurrent beneath the surface. our story starts with a struggle that expresses the call for equality in family relationships, education, and working life. While the struggle for women's rights and freedoms went hand in hand with the movement for the abolishment of slavery, in 1856, we experienced the first deep and silent triumph of women's struggle with the abolishment of trafficking of slaves, male or female. While in 1906 women in London were marching for their voting rights, in Istanbul women were marching for the declaration of constitutional monarchy. The First World War led to a great revolution in women's rights in our country, just like the rest of the world. 2 million women started to work at posts vacated by men. Following upon the First World War, Turkish women demonstrated a legendary struggle, both in war and production, for the establishment of the new republic under the leadership of Atatürk. With the 1934 dated amendment to the Constitution, women got the right to stand for election and to vote. In the 1935 elections, for the first time, 18 women were elected as members of parliament. Turkey got acquainted with the first female minister in 1971 with Türkan Akyol, the first female governor in 1991 with Lale Aytaman, and the first female prime minister in 1993 with Tansu Çiller. In 1985, Turkey signed the United Nations CEDAW. In 2001, with the amendment to the Turkish Civil Code, the decree concerning the husband's head of the family status was replaced by the decree stating that the spouses have equal rights. With the Girls to School campaign conducted by the Ministry of Education, the number of girls that enrolled to schools rose up to 20%. Most importantly, with the 10th article of the Constitution, the state was made responsible for the day-to-day implementation of gender equality. These are what we have accomplished. When we look at what we have not yet accomplished, we see that we have a long way to go. Violence against women is a great problem in our country. Without completing even the first half of the year, we have lost 30 girls to honor killings. But more and more, a web of civil resistance is on the ascent and is gaining momentum, showing how heartfelt our struggle is. The real enemies of Turkish women are poverty and the traditions of a closed society. So, our job is not yet complete. In fact, it is only beginning. This is our story. What is your story? According to the 2003 data of European Women's Lobby, at least one woman in every 5 women in EU countries is subjected to violence by her husband or partner. The figures of 2004 are even more striking. In Europe, the ratio of women who are subjected to violence ranges between 25 to 50%. Then why let prejudices stand between us in the struggle? The struggle with aims and prospective success could be accomplished only by bringing our resources together